Kia ora, and welcome to Stepping into the Circle. And this is the Wairarapa circle. And I want to just explain why I've called this Stepping into the Circle. Many years ago, I watched a video and it was about trauma and where people were asked to step into the circle if they'd ever experienced whatever it is. But I want to do the Wahine version, the feminine version, where we are looking at taking off those masks. We are looking at what we can do to support children, to support those that walk beside them. And so that our version of stepping in the circle is actually all of us that are holding hands within the circle in community, making life better for children. So I travelled down to the Wairarapa over the last 2 days to connect with Kelsey, who is going to be the hub leader for this area. And we're still working out what that will look like. But I think what we saw yesterday as we sat in circle was we saw leaders, feminine leaders, sitting together in non-competition. And that's always been my dream, is that we can sit together, we can know how powerful we are in a gentle way, and that we don't need to compete with each other as we support each other for the benefit not only of children but those that walk beside them. So I'm going to hand you over to Kelsey. And what were your feelings about the last couple of days?
Thank you, Donna. Yeah, kia ora, everyone. Yeah, I just love what you just said about the woman sitting in circle, not in competition, but in support and love for each other. And I think we talked over that weekend. You often were saying about just that whole, as one rises, the other rises, and then they rise, and we just keep supporting each other to grow and just grow into whatever's there for us to grow into, and not always knowing exactly what that's going to be, but just to be there to love and support each other, and be proud of each other, as you say, rather than being jealous and envious and trying to drag everybody down. That we are much better in community, in partnership with others. That, yeah, I've worked for years on my own trying to do things, and it gets hard to manage those challenges that you do get faced with, as life happens. And yeah, and I don't think that's the way that we're meant to live. It's not how we're meant to do things. So bringing together this circle of women, I think, is amazing, that we can stand strong together and support each other and lean on each other when life gets hard. And that, so I'm really excited to be finding my circle of strong wahine that I can trust in and that I can be there for as well. So that was really special over the last couple of days. And I guess it's something that's been building in my life anyway over the last 12 months. Yeah, so the last 2 days together was just amazing. Again, we went with, we thought we were doing one thing. We thought we were shaping and molding and creating something, and then life happens. life just found its own way to lead us into what we were going to be doing, and there's no way that we could have, I think, ever envisioned what the last 2 days have been, and just who we connected with and how we connected and what we talked about, and everything was just absolutely perfect. But so, just, we couldn't have created it.
No, it's, and I think that's the whole thing. It's, we've been building this trust with each other, gosh, for a number of years, And I think that was the solid foundation of
mm,
how everything has grown. I want to
mm,
just draw you back without
mm,
without naming anyone,
mm,
but just the power of one seed or
mm,
one ripple.
mm,
Because what's happened in your community has rippled from one person. And I
mm,
just wonder whether you can talk
mhm,
into that a little bit without
mhm, mhm,
disclosing anything.
mm. Yeah. Um, I guess it's what I've noticed is when one person has had the courage to step into a new way of being, of looking inward and looking at what's happened in their life and the effects that it's had on their life and the change that makes in their being. And so then the way that their being does impact and affect all of those around them. And what I've seen is that you then get a choice whether you are going to, again, going back to what I said at the start, are you going to rise with them or are you not? And it is a choice. And and I've seen that different people have stepped into being like, yeah, I want that. And so, and then as one does it, then someone else sees it and someone else sees it. And so those beautiful ripples do happen. And that's exactly that rising together. And then when when one slips or missteps or whatever, then there's others there to catch them and go, just give them a wee nudge or wee support or wee reminder, um, as a way to hold them until they're ready to, um, step back in, step back on, sort of thing, that they're held and that we're all held in that love and understanding, I guess is what I.
And I
So,
think that's what I really felt when I was with all of you,
mm,
because I've talked for a number of years about how I see leadership as a circle,
mm,
and that we all take turns to step
mm,
into the circle.
mm,
And this is why I've called this stepping into the circle. But stepping into the
mm,
circle, but also knowing as well, because of our nervous systems, that we're not
mm,
superhuman. It's
mm,
actually okay to step back out again and someone
mm,
else to step back in, rather than this hierarchy
mm,
where we overload our nervous systems.
mm,
And I think I sat around the room, I looked around the room um, yesterday, and it was really interesting because I think in the grounding into the space, you asked us to just look around and literally find what was there and to ground. And
mm,
it's really interesting because I know some people were looking around the room, but how I grounded to space was actually looking around all the people in the
mm,
space.
mm,
And I remember it was the relationships that
mhm,
really eased me into that space.
mm,
And it was nothing to do with where we were or what I was seeing in the room. It was
mm,
looking around at dynamic women,
mm,
dynamic women who all had different strengths.
mm,
And I literally remember looking around the room going, I'm in a room of leaders.
mm,
And again, I think that's what got me yesterday was, I think we came down, we started off with come and sit with Donna. I think that was the
mm,
title of what we
mm,
had.
mm,
But that wasn't what we actually did. We actually sat all together,
mm,
and we talked and we listened and we shared, and I could feel there's a whole lot of
mm,
sharing going on in
mm,
the room. And I think that was the power of seeing just how
mm,
powerful each person was in the room.
mm,
Everyone had a voice. It wasn't one person at the front and
mm,
listened to me.
mm,
It was more, actually, this is the start. This is the foundations of a powerful community.
mm, mm,
And with that, Kelsey, I'd like to take you to, yes, some of the journeys that both of us have been on,
mhm,
because we've both heard Penny Brownlee say, create a revolution in your own backyard.
mhm,
But the challenges of actually doing that when you're
mm,
so ahead of the curve of what
mm,
children need and other people
mm,
aren't quite there yet.
mhm. Yeah, I vividly remember Penny mentioning that, and yeah, I was super excited and super, yeah, I wanna help in my own community. I moved to a little community because I wanted community. I wanted that connection for myself. And so then when I discovered Penny Brownlee and did my training with her and stuff, it was like, yeah, this is how we can heal. This is how we can bring forth change and support for our communities and our families for the betterment of society. And but with the facilitating of the programs that Penny shared with us, it was meant to be done in tandem with two facilitators, to one to support the adults, one to support the children, and so we could support each other and work together as facilitators in the background too. Well, how did that go? What worked for you? What was a struggle? How do we manage all that? But I had no one. I had no one to walk beside me to um, help me with this in the real here and now nitty gritty stuff. And trying to just forge that on my own was just hard. But I knew I couldn't give up because I felt so strong. It just didn't even feel like a choice. It felt like this is my calling. This is what I have to do. It was not something that yeah, and I just couldn't not do it. But it was just really hard. And then, there's sort of been people there in the past sort of that I could talk to about things, but then those have disappeared. And then, as you say, you and I have been sort of circling around each other a little bit for a few years now, and now there's just been this really beautiful connection that has grown into something a lot more and a lot more comfortable, and we understand each other better, and we've built that relationship with the work that you do of stepping into that real honest communication, building that safety to do those things. And so definitely, yeah, what Penny challenged us to do was hard on your own. And so we need to come together in support of each other. And whether it's, I mean, you're up the top of the North Island and I'm down the bottom of the North Island, and it's not necessarily having to be rubbing shoulders next to, but just having that mutual understanding of each other. We're not trying to steal each other's light or dull it or whatever. That we need to just do it to build everybody. That, what am I trying to say?
Well, and I get exactly what you're trying to say,
mm,
because for me, I listened to what the guides in the Pickle Institute were saying a couple of years ago,
mm,
and they said that there would be no Pickler approach if there wasn't Maria. So Maria was the person that walked alongside Amy Pickler. And that really got me, because I felt very much the same as you. I felt alone. And I didn't want to give up. And both of us haven't given up. We've been doing
mm,
this, gosh,
mm,
10 plus years.
mm-hmm, yeah,
And neither of us have given up. We're still
mm,
here. We're still trying to
mm,
find another way. But I remember when they said about Maria, and that when
mm,
you're ahead
mm,
of the curve, when you're saying something new, you need someone by the side of you that goes, don't give up, you've got
mm,
this. And I
mm,
think in different
mm,
ways, we've
mm,
been able to do that for each other.
mm,
And I think that's also what I see about stepping into the circle, because I know myself, I don't see myself as being the guru, the person that's out front. I see myself as I walk beside, and that's a very Pickler way of actually
mm,
talking. We walk alongside people, we accompany people.
mhm,
And sometimes people lead, and just like in a adult-child relationship, sometimes the adult leads, sometimes the child leads, and sometimes you
mm,
don't even know who's leading because you're in such synchronicity together. And I think for me, that's how I see the leadership in the circle. That you don't have to burn yourself out. So again,
yeah,
there's something
yeah,
that I talk about a lot. I think over the last 2 years, I've been talking about when I had an adult meltdown,
mm,
but that was because I was trying to do it all by myself.
mm,
That I
yeah,
didn't have that person that got what I was trying to do, and my nervous system got overloaded,
mm,
and I never want to go back there again.
mm,
I actually want to be in community, and I think we've sort of seen each other. We've seen that we want to be in community together and with others, and I think there's going to be others around the country. It's just the Wairarapa seems to
mm,
be ahead of the curve. So I wanted to actually also talk into how we're doing things differently as well.
mhm,
Because I'm not, so to actually have real authenticity,
mhm,
I'm not perfect the whole time.
mhm,
And I have messy moments.
mhm,
And I'm still clearing my own wounds, finding
mhm,
my own needs.
mhm,
So, and I think for me that's important as I attune to others because
mhm,
I know that there's so many mums and dads hiding behind closed doors,
mm,
looking like they're parenting perfectly, and behind the doors crying out for help.
mm,
And I remember my very first time doing parent infant classes, I was like, I'm not the expert. And I've done that from the start, I'm not the expert,
mm,
but now I step even more into I'm still clearing my wounds from my past. And so I wanted to literally put that thought to you
mhm,
of how we've changed the view of our leadership and how we
mm,
allow people to see us
mm,
and the confidence that we allow people to see us.
mm. Yeah, I I think after I got comfortable with, doing the parenting classes and things like that, once I settled into my groove and everything, I allowed myself to be a lot more open and vulnerable and sharing from my own life and my own struggles and what was going on and that so that yeah, like you say, that I'm real, and actually that's what we want. That's what I keep trying. I'm wanting to have people here as parents just be real. That it's in our realness that we also allow our children to be real because we don't want them to try and live up to really heavy standards of being. Whereas if we can let them see that, oh yeah, we struggle sometimes and we find it hard and we make a mistake, but we can fix it. Um, that we're being real human beings. And so again, it's that modeling. I mean, we talk in the parenting classes about, being the person that you want your kids to be, that you need to be that model, that the children need to learn from people that already have those skills. So it's us upskilling ourselves and creating those skills for ourselves of what we want our kids to have. Um, Slightly lost the train of thought of where I was going to go. That oh yeah, that so in being real and vulnerable and sharing of myself, I actually found that within the classes that I was doing, I thought that I was creating a community for other people. I thought I was creating a community of parents. But what I ended up finding was I'd actually created a community for myself as well, and that there was that mutual support and care and yeah, they were open to hold space for me when life was hard to talk about my struggles, which you just wouldn't normally do, and it was nice to be able to turn up and go, I feel really crap today, or I've had, whatever, and I might not be on top form, and for that to actually be okay. Um, because no matter what we do and what we say when we come together, there's always beauty, there's always value in whatever happens when we come together, whether it was the intention of the gathering or not. That there's always value there.
What I'm hearing is something we've talked about, and we've been talking with a few people as I've been meeting people the last couple of
Mm-hmm.
days. And the question that was posed of what is the highest vibration? And I think this is what both of us have actually seen in the work that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to share what the highest vibration is and how that links
Authenticity.
into the work that we
Yeah.
do?
Yeah. Authenticity. The highest vibration is authenticity, being our true selves, not bending, molding, reshaping ourselves to fit in with others, to belong. We want to belong, but we need to be ourselves. And that fits in with our work because we want to help children maintain and stay in their authenticity that they come here with. And it's with us working with primarily the mothers, but the fathers, any caregivers, grandparents, whoever walks alongside children, anyone who wants to be with kids, to help them to not, I don't know. Can you finish off the best last bit of that?
I can, because I was literally going to say is how easy is it to be authentic, to be truly authentic?
It's hard.
It is, isn't it? It's actually challenging, and I think I'm still learning to be authentic because I'm
Mm,
still clearing the wounds from the past,
mm,
and I'm still recognizing the needs that went unmet on my
mm,
journey.
mm. And what society expects from us. And when you're the professional and when you're at work, then you need to be a certain way and not allowing ourselves to be human, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it's really, really hard because of all that conditioning.
and
But
again, I
it's,
think
yeah.
I think for myself, it's more. I looked at how many people pointed the finger at me when I had the meltdown.
Mm,
And actually, what I really needed was I needed support of all the people that I had supported
mm,
when I actually needed them, they weren't there.
yeah.
And that was hard. That was hard.
Mm,
And
mm,
yes, it was a big meltdown. But I think we've been conditioned to see the nervous system
mm,
as actually being misbehavior.
yes.
And there's so much misunderstanding
Mm,
about what happens when we get dysregulated,
mm,
which I'm going to weave into the next
mm-hmm,
question
mm-hmm,
because out of everyone that I've worked with, I think you got what I've been trying to create with the maintenance plan.
mm-hmm,
Did you want to talk in
mm,
and the power of
mm,
how that
mm,
supported you
mm-hmm,
with coming into earned security?
mm-hmm. Yeah, I wholeheartedly hold the maintenance plan as the most crucial part to my stabilization, to my grounding, to my capacity to be a human being. Um, so, yeah, when I first came to you, I was very, very dysregulated through trauma, through life, through whatever. Um, Unsure how I would actually manage. Um, but we started really slowly. We started really simply looking at those needs of, what was my need? What did I need for myself? And some of that was about less stimulation and some sense of order, having my kitchen organized at the end of the day so I could start the new day without the chaos of, oh, I want to cook breakfast, but now I need to wash a pot and a spoon and a this and a that. And so for me, yeah, we went, okay, I need to do the dishes. That doing the dishes is going to be the thing that it's going to be the first little step into bringing in some of that calm and centered and organized stuff to help calm the nervous system, not realizing exactly how much that would actually change things. And so I guess, again, life at times, when I was trying to do the dishes, by the end of the day, I was already overstimulated, that I actually didn't have capacity. You would talk about it as being the window of tolerance of, I was outside my window of tolerance. I had no patience left. I had nothing to give. But life still needed things. But I learned to be able to go, okay, in this moment, in this particular time of the day when I'm really done, I need to put myself first. And it's not selfish, it's necessary so that I can be loving and kind to those around me. So the best thing was for me to put in that boundary of, I need this time at the end of the day to do the dishes all by myself, so I can focus on having my hands in the nice warm water, get the dishes done, just have that peace and quiet, and then have a clear bench at the end of the day ready for the next day, so I was starting fresh. And that's all we did for, I don't know, some weeks probably. Before
And then we added in going for, I think, a walk.
going for a walk, and I added in doing some art, and and spending time in the garden, in my glass house, and we slowly built on it, but we went really, really slowly.
And then can I just say, because I think this was the
Mm-hmm.
key part, because
Yeah.
this is I think why you were the person out of everyone I know that got the maintenance plan,
Yes,
because you stopped doing your maintenance
I
plan.
did. I stopped doing it, and I went completely backwards in being dysregulated again, not coping, being grumpy. And then, those who loved me and knew what I was doing were able to say, are you doing your maintenance plan? And I'll be like, no. Oh, well, I think you need to go for a walk. Okay, I'll go for a walk. And that was able to just, put me back into a state of a bit more regulated, and and just having that honesty with other people and sharing with them that this is what I actually need this for my nervous system. I think having that language to explain what's going on and why it's so important, that then those around me could actually respect what I needed. Even the youngest of those in my life were able to understand and respect that need. And that we are able to support each other in going, have you topped yourself up lately? When we slip. So yeah, and that was the big thing for me, was seeing that difference and going, oh, okay, yeah, no. And so now, yeah, absolutely, I'm aware of it every single day of, how am I feeling? Have I done enough? Do I need to do more? What needs to change? Because maybe your next question to me, Donna, is what happens when life changes and you can't do your maintenance plan as you had it?
Or maybe I'll answer it back the other way, because
Yes,
it's, well,
okay,
you asked the
yeah,
question. Because
okay.
again, I think I often talk about how I had walking and yoga as
Mm,
my maintenance plan,
mm-hmm.
and I had swimming as well. And I remember getting to the school holidays, and there's all the children in the pool, and suddenly swimming is not meeting that need anymore. So because swimming for me, and so again, I think I've changed it again, because now I do the gym, I swim, and I have the sauna, and I have this sacred time in the middle of my day where I give myself that time. And swimming to me is not swimming, because it used to be, when I in my previous maintenance plan, it used to be challenging myself of how many lengths I could do, and actually I was just getting into that not good enough wound.
Mm,
Where now my swimming is, I go up and down, and I'm blowing bubbles. And actually the blowing bubbles is why, because I laugh, because I do I usually look at my emails, I look at my WhatsApp group before I go to the pools. So I get to understand the questions that people are asking me. And then I use my swimming time as my meditation time. And I literally look at the clock as well and I go, oh, I've got a lot on today. Okay, I'll only be in the pool for 20 minutes. So I literally then just go, all right, I'll be here because I also change my maintenance plan depending on what my day is doing. But then I go up and down blowing bubbles. And for me, that's my control breathing
mm,
because I'm actually, when I'm blowing my bubbles, then I know I'm doing that long breath out. And I know that I'm doing 20 minutes of control breathing. But also, while I'm
mm,
doing that in the silence, I'm sort of processing everything that I've read before I've got into the pool. And by the time I get out of the pool, I can literally go, when I get home, I can quickly answer all the emails or the WhatsApp chats.
mhm,
And to me, I'm working way more productively because I'm regulated.
mm,
And for me, it's more. I've now worked my day around. So again, I played with my schedule, and like now I work in the morning and I work in the afternoon, and some evenings I work, but I have this time in the middle because that works for me. But then I think the other day as well, because we've got that language of how important the maintenance plan is, because again, I think we
mm,
were having a session together and we were trying to figure out a time. And
mm,
and when I was trying to, and you were like, oh, I really need this time. And I'm like, oh, but this is in my sacred time. And you
mm,
were like, not a problem.
mm,
And it's well, we had because we had that
mm,
understanding of how important this is.
mm,
And then life got in the way for me. And then suddenly I'm saying, well, actually now I've got something else, and can you move a time to here? And then
mm,
I had to rejiggle because suddenly I had to
mm,
split up my sacred time,
mm,
just because life got in the way. But
mm,
I was looking at my body, going, look at me, So I went to the gym for half an hour, and then I came back and did all the things I need to do. But then I still had a time where I could do my swimming and the sauna later on in the day.
mm,
But it's become that important to me to
mm,
look after myself.
mm,
And I love this. I love how I'm putting myself first.
mm,
And I love that. And again, you will have different. And again, what I say to people is it will look different from person to person.
mm,
I work for myself, so I've got that flexibility. But for other people, it might be about just taking those extra couple of minutes to have your coffee in the morning. And that's also part of my maintenance plan,
mm,
is that I have a time in the morning where I have my coffee and I usually write a post. And that's how I do it. It's more, I'm enjoying my coffee, but I also have whatever thoughts have come up for me overnight. And I'll literally sit down and I'll write a post. And it's a little ritual that I have. And I'm
mm.
doing something that I really enjoy, and I've sort of mixed it with again something else I enjoy. I enjoy writing, and I enjoy that creativity. And so, if anything, my life has become my maintenance plan. And actually, as I'm talking about it,
Mm,
my
mm,
life has become my maintenance plan
yeah.
because I'm actually living life the way I want to live.
Mm.
So I'm going to go back to asking the questions because
Okay.
I'm hijacking
I'm
your.
hijacking you.
So I want to go on now and I'm going to start wrapping up.
Mhm,
But Kelsey, you have created some amazing, authentic posts of the how of the maintenance
mhm,
plan.
mhm,
So I'd just like you to talk into that and also just share with people your Facebook site where people can find you. Because honestly, I think this is where I started to see your authenticity. Your writing changed when you
mhm,
started writing about your real life experiences.
mhm,
And they're genius. They're genius, the posts that you write. They're not posts that I write, they're posts that
mhm,
you write. And this is
mhm,
your authenticity.
mhm.
So I really want to shine the light and get you to celebrate what you do that is so unique to you.
So what's the question?
So the question is, how do you share with parents how to do the maintenance plan?
I guess I share it by showing them what I actually do. So yeah, my Facebook page is Parenting with Heart, um, and on there I have yeah, one of my struggles in life is deciding what to cook for dinner, and And I just find that really challenging. I don't mind the cooking, but it's that coming up with those ideas all the time, especially if my nervous system hasn't been good and, whatever. Um, so I sat down and worked out what our regular sort of meals would be. And then we just happened to have, because I'd already created a blackboard on one of the large cupboards in my kitchen, more for drawing and doodling on. But then I actually wrote up a whole list of meal options. And so that just really helped me to be able to, I could actually see it from my lounge. So I can just even sit on the sofa and go, oh, it's nearly dinner time, or thinking about it in the afternoon. And I can just look over and go, oh, yeah, no, I don't have ingredients for that, don't have that. But, oh, yeah, we could do that or do that. And then I can either decide or say to the family, which of these two would you like? Or, and just sort of sharing that there are ways around, just how we can make life easier.
So as I'm listening to you, would the need be for predictability, or was it another need?
I don't think it's the predictability. I think it's taking, I don't know, I'll just talk into it and then see what comes of, it was taking the mental load out
So
of
ease.
Yes.
So again, so I suppose what I'm just showing people is that
mm,
for some people it might be the need for predictability,
mm,
but the needs are actually different. When we create our
mm,
maintenance plans,
mm,
there's actually different needs. And so the same
mm,
thing could be meeting different needs.
mm,
And that's why, so
mm,
again, for me,
mm,
that would have been a predictability.
yeah.
So I was literally just asking, is
Mm,
this? But again, can you see as well, for
mm,
you, that wasn't.
mm,
And then as soon as you started talking about, it's ease. So it was actually
mm,
the need for ease. And that's how
yes.
you created.
Yeah.
And I think that's each need will look different. And when we
Mm,
sit with that need,
mm,
what does that look, sound, feel like for you? And
mm,
then that's how you create your maintenance plan.
mm, mm,
But I think, like I say, the things that you've described are genius, and they're very accessible to understand. So I talk about, like I can quite happily talk quite highfalutin sometimes. And what I love with what you do is that you make it accessible for people to really get what this actually means. And
thank you.
you really help people to
Mm,
understand. And so I want to shine the light on
mm,
you, because I think this
mm,
is also part of that circle of
mm,
leadership,
mhm,
how we all have our
mm,
superpowers.
mm. And I think because I found the maintenance plan to be so beneficial in my life, I think I've got a bit of a passion for the maintenance plan and looking at those needs and how can we meet them and things like that. So yeah, I think that's one of my joys at the moment. Mm, yeah.
So as I round up now, is there anything last that you want to give to a parent that's listening to this, that's suddenly just hearing, I'm in the Wellington, Wairarapa area, and I've just heard this and I'm
Mhm,
really intrigued.
mhm.
What would you say to them?
I don't know. Is that what you want me to say?
What would you like to say? It's not about what I want to say.
Yeah, I think, if you are in the Wairarapa and this has intrigued you and you would like face to face to talk more about what your needs are and where your struggles are in life, and a bit more about what a maintenance plan is or to create one, yeah, I would love to walk alongside you and see if we can make you a maintenance plan to get you into a little happy place as well. So you can, go find me on Facebook on Parenting with Heart.
So,
There's
and I think
probably
this,
other sites, but yeah, you'll find the New Zealand one with my
yeah,
face on it.
and I think this for me is the power of the weaving. So
Mm,
and I'm just gonna say, because it's more,
mm,
we've been talking for a while, Kelsey.
mm,
I'm looking at creating, so all from all the things that I've learnt, I'm looking at creating my own accreditation, my own certification, and you've got your own uniqueness, and I think that's the part of it as well. But I think we literally said, well, we would walk alongside each other, and
Mm,
that you would become the first person to go through the accreditation of being able to do what you're, create maintenance plans for people,
mm,
hold held sessions,
mm,
look at parenting from not only the child but the adult.
mm,
And then also the beauty, thanks to Donna Reggio, and we're still working how we're going to do this, but
mm,
also how we can really introduce interplay to
mm,
New Zealand, because I
mm.
think it's hugely needed.
Yes.
And I think we can't sell a secret, and so it's
Mm,
about creating these beautiful communities around New Zealand where we can create this step into the
mm,
circle where you're
mm.
not carrying all the load yourself.
Yeah. Mm,
So I will put
mm,
Kelsey's details below so that
mm,
you can contact her. And I think if you're interested and you hear this and you're intrigued and you're in another part of the country and you would like to weave with us too, then just reach out, because we do this in community with each other. And that starting that revolution in your own backyard is not done by one people, it's done by many people working and celebrating each other in non competition and love. So thank you,
mm.
Kelsey.
Thank you, Donna.